So I just finished unboxing the Age of the Prime's Aerialbots, and right out of the box, my figure was broken. I don't know what happened, but he was just split in half like this, right out of the box. So I went back to some of my older figures, the Stunticons, and they had the same problem. I honestly don't know what's happening. If somebody could tell me, I don't know what's going on, if this is like a play feature or something. Hello everybody, today I have another video for you all. Hooray! And Hasbro made another combiner, so I'm reviewing it. And I've lost my microphone. I searched the entire house for it. I just cannot find it. So you're going to hear the bustling noise of my family in the background. Also, I've yet to finish part 2 of my Lego Bruticus over there. But I decided to put that on pause because I feel like these are more important and I wanted to talk about these first. So we'll do these guys. So in front of us, we have Air Raid and Slingshot. These two guys are the first two members of what will become Superion. Originally, these guys were scheduled to be delivered in May, but I ended up getting them a whole month early. Originally, I was going to get them at the end of this month, but then they got scheduled even earlier, and that was pretty exciting because that meant I got to review them even sooner. But after the excitement came sadness, because then I got the sad news that Silverbolt was delayed. He was like out of stock or something when they went to ship it or something, so I had to cancel the order. This is supposed to be a video about all three of those guys, but I had to chop Silverbolt out of the video because I just don't have them. Also, one thing I like is how the boxes are actually numbered, so 1 of 5 and 2 of 5 that all formed to make Superion. It's pretty cool. The Stunticons didn't really originally do this, so if you got the Stunticons but weren't aware that they were a combiner, you might have never known. One of the first questions I had about the Aerialbots when they were being revealed was, how close were they to the Stunticons? And to nobody's surprise, they're the exact same, even down to the whole kind of splitting in half thing that they do that I showed off at the beginning of the video. It's literally the exact same, and something funny I realized I didn't even know before is that you can swap these guys around. Doesn't really work on Dragstrip with Slingshot's legs, but Slingshot can use Dragstrip's legs. Another thing that comes to the Aerialbots and me is that I never actually took the time to memorize any of their names. Like with the Stunticons, it's pretty easy. Dragstrip's the yellow car, Dead End's the red car, Wild Rider's the black car, and Breakdown is the white car. But when it comes to the Aerialbots, they all look the same. They're all red, white, and black. Their vehicle modes are a lot more different, and like their faces are different enough to tell the difference, but besides that, they're all the exact same. So one thing I was worrying about is that I would mix up their names, but I've at least memorized these two guys' names. This is Air Raid, this is Slingshot. Starting with Air Raid, because he's numbered first on the boxes. He's a pretty nice figure. I have yet to really mess with him because I got him just earlier today at the time of filming. And I've been busy doing things before I started filming, so I have yet to really truly mess with him. I've gotten his transformation memorized and other quirks of him memorized, but I'm still new to him. But one thing I do know is that the Aerialbots were built to rival the Stunticons, which is why I wanted to get them, because my Stunticons needed enemies. But anyways, into the figure, he's got all the basic articulation points like ankle, elbows, shoulders, knees. One thing that doesn't make sense, and this isn't even a problem with the character, but just Air Raid himself, is that he's a white and red robot, but then he turns into a black jet. Like, where does the white and red go? Like, you can see, like, there's a little bit of white on the wings, and maybe you could explain that, like, maybe all the black folds inside while the white folds outward, but it's all strange how, like, in the cartoon he's supposed to turn to a black plane, but he's mostly white and red. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, where's the shift happen? But again, that's really just a problem with the character. The figure does make it more obvious that it's just all hanging out his back, but it is kind of strange. This guy comes with 2 guns included, just kind of like how the Stunticons, they all had 2 guns included. They just plug into his hands like this, and they're pretty nice looking guns. A lot of times when Transformers have guns, they don't really look like guns, but these look like pretty convincing guns. You can plug his guns onto the backs of the wings like this on his back, and you can also fold the wings out like this to have it to where like he's got the wings folded out. And you can see that he also has the Seeker upside down emblem on the back of his wings. It would have been funny if like the wings can fold around and you could see the emblems from the front, a lot like the Seekers. but unfortunately that can't happen. The little wings down here, these can come off. These are just accessories, and I guess you can use these as axes or swords or some sort of knife type weapons if you wanted. Another thing this figure can do is that his head can just disappear. This is not used for the transformation, that's actually used for the combined mode. Now into Slingshot, and I've heard a lot of people criticizing this figure and saying that it's the inferior of the two so far, but to be honest, I feel like he's actually my favorite of the two so far. Um, I think it's kind of just because I really like the drag strip mold, and this guy's literally just the drag strip mold, and he feels pretty nice. He actually feels better than drag strip. The legs on mine have become kind of loose, and also drag strip has really short thighs. When on this figure they do kind of fix the thigh to shin ratio a little bit. One thing that I do kind of understand is that they gave him these awkward shoulders that instead of kind of pulling outward, kind of rotate up like this. But to be honest, I feel like this looks more realistic, assuming that Transformers are built of boxes connected by like some sort of organic tissue. This makes more sense to how a Transformer would anatomically move. And I kind of understand when this gets kind of annoying, because if you want his arm to go out like that, you have to do this, and that does look weird. I've heard people comparing him to 86 Hot Rod, but these shoulders are not that bad. 86 Hot Rod was weird and awkward with the shoulders because they kind of rotated back and forth, but also like swiveled weirdly, so the shoulders were always getting like stuck. But this guy, they are locked in place, so it's not that bad. And actually, one small detail is that I'm pretty sure the visor is a slightly different shade of orange. I don't know if that's being picked up really well in camera, but I think it's an ever so slight different shade of orange. That could just be me. This guy also comes with two guns that you can put in his hands, but I like to put him on the sides of his arms. They just feel cooler like that, and also they don't really fit my copy. The pegs are too tight. When it comes to transformation, it kind of comes full circle with the Aerialbots, because the Combiner Wars Aerialbots are what pioneered the whole collapsing leg, fold away arm, fold away head design that has kind of revolutionized the Transformers transformation. Like, a majority of figures use this mold, and it's honestly not a bad way of transforming figures, and it makes it to where Transformers are not really that panely or clunky or anything. So I don't know much about cars, and I know even less about planes. But all I know is that this guy looks like a Seeker, and this has to be one of the least aerodynamic planes I've ever seen. I don't know if this is how the actual plane looks, but these weird clunky parts just look kind of weird. And also I forgot that I didn't flip down the landing gear that is built into the head, which is pretty cool. These plane modes are pretty cool, starting with Air Raid. I really like the Stealthy Jet mode. It reminds me a lot of the Seekers. I don't know if it's the same plane as the Seekers. It looks it, but it could be wrong. But do just ignore the fact that there is a giant robot hanging off the bottom. Like, it looks good when you're looking at it from the top, and then you flip it around and you got entire robot hanging off the bottom. This figure uses the Wild Rider mold because it forms the legs of the combiner, which means that the feet hang off the bottom like this, which is supposed to form the bottom of the car mode of Wild Rider. But this isn't a car, so you still get this along with the rest of the plane. But they did solve this issue by adding two tiny little wheels on the sides that can't roll, and this perfectly hides it and cures the whole problem completely. Now into Slingshot, and to be honest, ignoring the weird bulky shoulders, it looks pretty good. I do like it. And again, this could actually be how the plane looks. I just don't know much about it. And from the side, you can't even notice the shoulders. And I really like the sleek, like, just bullet shape of the plane. On the top, we have the Autobot emblems, which I know I don't know much about planes, but I think these are actually facing the wrong way. I'd watch a video talking about how the Seeker emblems end up facing the wrong direction because they're angled the other way around. because that's kind of like the legal direction for it. So, which means that these Autobot symbols are actually upside down, which means that these planes are actually like illegal or something. Again, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the Autobot symbols are supposed to be the other way around. The guns on both of them are stored under the wings, kind of like how the Seekers normally do, and on this guy, it looks good, but on him, it looks kind of weird because they're like normal looking guns hanging off a plane. From the top, they don't look bad, but once you notice that it has like a clip and like a viewfinder, it looks weird. Ignoring the upside down Autobot symbols, I do like the stripes on the sides of the wings, and it has the same one on this tail fin here, although it doesn't have the red stripes on it. I don't know if this is just a hard spot to print, so they can only do one color or something, but I don't know. There's also this nice black stripe that runs along the top of the plane, although it is broken up in some spots, which I'm not a big fan of. It could just be that these parts of the plastic you can't print on, or it's just that it might scratch up, so you're better off just having blank spots and scratched up paint. But I do like how the stripe breaks up the white, but I don't like how the stripe is broken up. Also, one thing when it comes to the newer style of combiners is that it's not as fun because you can't just make an arm and just have a floating arm. Like, these don't even look like limbs. Like, this is one, like, full, I think it's this side. This is just one full arm, and this is supposed to be a leg. Like, it's not really that plausible on its own. Like, you do need the entire rest of the body to understand that that's a leg. I'm okay sacrificing the whole, like, playability of it in order to get a nicer figure in general. Like, the Combiner Wars, like, it was just so clunky, and it is kind of funny that they're now finally doing the Aerialbots, because the Aerialbots are kind of like what revolutionized, like, Combiner Wars and just transforming in general. And I just love this kind of splitting in half play feature. Like, I will never get old, I will never get sick of this. Like, I can't wait to see it on the Combaticons, which are coming out next year, and I don't know, Devastator's probably not going to do it. I don't think he's doing it at all. But it is a fun design. And I also wonder if they're going to do the Protectobots, but they might not. I don't know. But yeah, I am really excited to see where this goes, and I do hope to get Silverbolt at some point. But if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will do part 2 of Bruticus. I just have yet to do it. And also, this is my 101st video, and I didn't even realize I reached 100 videos. I was going to do like a special or something, but it just slipped by. I didn't even notice I hit 100 videos, and I was like, oh man, I missed 100 videos. But yeah, I'll probably maybe do something, but I do have other things in the works, so it's really not likely to happen. But yeah, until next time, bye-bye.